Okay, well today what we're gonna do to the Trailboss. So it's a 2026 LT Trailboss. Got the 5.3 in it. I'm gonna put on the Sill guards. When I say the Sill door jamb protectors, so they go down along here, and then they also wrap up around over this. So I have previously installed Tough Skins or whatever. They peel and stick. Those actually work really nice. But I wanted the matte finish along the bottom to tie in the mud flaps in the back, the corner piece there, and I've got the matte bumper cover and the matte hood. So I'm trying to tie some matte in. So looking around, I ended up buying the ones from GM. So here's what they look like. They're really nice. Plastic, peel and stick kind of thing. These say Bushwacker. So I did some research. So the website for GM says Lund. And so what I've learned is Lund, Husky, and Bushwacker. They were all consolidated by Real Truck, I think it is. And so they all come off the same molds. They're all the exact same part. The only difference is what sticker goes on here. So when I opened these up, much to my surprise, I was expecting to say Lund on it, and it said Bushwacker. And so the General Motors part number for this, for my truck anyway, is this right here. Yeah, GM Trail Armor. Okay, so the install. So it comes with alcohol wipes. So I've already washed my truck, but I do need to wipe down the alcohol, take off a little bit of the adhesive residue from the stickers I put on there. I'll do all that here in a minute. First thing to do is just some dry fitting. So here's you start in the rear one first, and the reason for that is the rear one's molded to match that rear cap back there. So you start with the rear one first, so that you can net this out and get a nice good tight fit back here in the back. And then you do the front one first. So I'm just doing some dry fitting right now just to make sure that all this is going to look good and fit on my truck before I go any further. So there's the rear one. It kind of holds itself in place. The front one, I started to do some dry fitting on it, and this little part right here on mine had the router. So they trimmed this out with a router or by hand, and it had this undercut right here. It looked really like shit. So I ended up taking a razor knife and modifying this right here from where they had trimmed it right here. They had overcut it, and then it kind of came down and looped up. And so this top surface had a little loop in it. So it wasn't great. I mean, huge, but it was enough that it was like, oh my God, that looks terrible. I couldn't look at that all the time. Fortunately, it's on the passenger side. But with a razor knife, I was able to clean it up real easy. This stuff cuts real easy. So like I said, you do the rear first, and then we'll do the front one. Like this right here, and then that way we can massage this joint right here in the back and because it does slide a little bit. But anyway, that's how it's going to look when it's all on there. This one won't hold itself up. So the next step right now is I'm gonna go wipe all this down. It comes with alcohol wipes. I'm gonna wipe all this down, alcohol wipe this whole surface where the stuff's gonna go. The thing that I have not decided what I'm gonna do yet is there's an adhesive promoter that is made for this 3M body tape stuff that goes a real long way to helping that stuff stick long term. And because this is on their underbody, I'm in Indiana. It snows here, it's salty, it's shit here in the winter. I'm thinking about using an adhesive promoter on where the tape's gonna go. Maybe just on the bottom or not. The instructions say must follow the recommendation or void the warranty and all that, and I get all that, but the reality is that adhesion promoter is awesome, and I don't want to be dicking with this and redoing this tape in 2 years or whatever. So anyway, I'm going to pull this right back off. I'm going to wipe it all down with alcohol, and then I'll make a decision on the adhesive promoter in that process. Okay, so it comes with I think 8 of these wipes or something like that, and I started using them, and the thing is, even though I cleaned my truck really well or whatever, I was finding it was still a little dirty, because I mean it's going to go on that pinch weld. So I didn't clean as good as I should have on the pinch weld when I washed my truck because it's way up underneath there. And this thing is going to tape all along on that pinch weld. So I ended up just getting my own isopropyl alcohol and a microfiber, and I wiped the whole surface down really, really good until it was spotless. So the key to anything with adhesion is the substrate being clean, uber clean. In that time frame, I have since decided I am going to use the adhesion promoter. When I put the Lund Aero skin on my hood, it came with it and recommended it and came with it for that very reason, to make sure it stuck well. I mean, the front end of the truck gets a lot of crap on it. Well, the bottom of the truck gets even more. So anyway, I had bought this a while back off of Amazon, but it's called Adhesion Promoter. There's the name of it. And I'm literally going to take a I got that like at the car wash so it doesn't scratch your paint. And I'm going to wipe it on the surfaces where the tape is going to go. And so in this case, it's literally the pinch weld on the bottom and then up here on the top. So some here and then up here and then jog back down. So I'm going to eyeball where that's at, and I'm going to wipe that adhesion promoter on there, let it dry. The next step is I'm going to peel a little bit of this tape back from each edge so I can, and then wrap it over so I have access to it, but I'm not peeling it all off. And then I'm going to get it up, push it up there and get it in position like I was showing it dry, and make sure this nets out really good here in the back, pushing it forward and up. And then I'm going to slowly start pulling the tape off and working my way forward with the tape and making sure this thing fits really solid all the way forward. So basically I'm going to start in the rear and I'm going to drift forward, putting it in place. Okay, so I ended up having to use a razor knife in order to get the backings pulled off the tape. So, because I couldn't get my fingernail underneath it. So anyway, pro tip there, use something to pry up underneath it. Anyway, I pulled off 2-3 inches of it, pull it back, and then kind of folded it so it's sticking on the outside everywhere, starting from the back. And then, unfortunately, doing this on my iPhone, so I can't hold it by myself and put all this together with 2 hands. So I'm just talking through what I'm getting ready to do here in the setup, and then when I come back, you'll see it's installed. So anyway, I'm going to start in the back. I'm going to get this to nest up real good, and then get all this to fit really good, and then not push down where the tape's at. And then I'm going to fix that before I start. Because see, right there's another trim error. See that little tit right there? I'm going to take my razor knife and trim that down, or a piece of sandpaper before I do this. So look your parts over real good, because maybe stuff like that don't bother you, but that kind of shit drives me crazy. So anyway, here we go. Okay, so I've got it dry fit up in there, and I've got this pushed up in here, and the tape, so you got to be careful, make sure your tape doesn't get folded up underneath, or this one here kept wanting to go up underneath on me. So make sure you still have access to your tape. So I've got it kind of dry fit into place everywhere and nested real good in the back. And now I'm going to start pulling the tape off and making sure it fits really well, and just keep walking my way this way, pressing and massaging the part and making sure it fits, and just keep driving all the variation down to the end on fitment. Okay, so what I ended up doing was, instead of doing them together, I did the bottom first. Got the bottom pushed up and pushed in, and then I came up, and then I did this one to right here, because it stops right here, and got this to fit good. And then I jumped up to here and did this one and went out, and then I came up to here and did this one and went out. So I kind of started from the bottom and to the right instead of just all to the right uniformly. I found that was making the part fit better after I got started. Okay, so, and here is why these YouTube videos are invaluable. So, fatal mistake, and you're getting ready to learn a pro tip here. So I finished that, and I started to go towards the front, shut the door, went up front, and I was like, oh, I forgot my razor knife. So I opened the door back up, and I heard this loud pop. I'm like, what the fuck? This edge right here is up, and it was catching on my door. When it would shut, it would grab that. So I had to pry all this back off to move that lip down, so that when I shut the door and open it back up, it wasn't catching. So anyway, What I probably should have done is when I had it temporarily up there, done a test open. But more importantly, rather on the rest of them, I'm going to make sure that this line right here is down, hugging this as low as possible along here to prevent this catch point from happening again. So anyway, it sounded like shit. Prying all that tape back off was a massive pain in the ass. I use this little plastic trim tool to pry on it. Anyway, it's working now and not rubbing, and you can see it's not catching there. There's plenty of clearance there now as well. So anyway, something to be aware of on that. Okay, got her on. Making sure it was nice and tight here to button that up as tight as you can get it. Down along there, did a dry fit. I noticed this when it was dry and not surprised. So this door seal here and here, here and here, when it shuts, is going to hit here and here. So now you've got this additional material in the way when you shut the door. And like if you just, that one worked, but like my wife, and it'll do that. So that causes the door to need to be shut harder. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen up my striker plate, adjust my striker over just a little bit. So I'll show that video later, but I'm going to move this out just a little, not enough to affect my door gap, but just so it latches easier. But there we are. There it is, installed now. I'm going to take the Bushwacker logo off. I'm not real happy about this being open right here. It's kind of unfortunate that they don't do anything about that, but there it is. Okay, so I got them on, and like I said, I'm going to come back. I'm going to adjust this striker. And the reason being, like my wife, she's a little girl, she shuts that door and limps wrists it. It's going to do that. And that's frustrating. And then the other side, when I went to open it, you could just feel the drag on it. It's like it's under a lot of tension to open the door. So I'm going to adjust the striker. So, I'm looking at my body fit here. It's not proud. It fits real well. So I'm going to make sure that, I don't mess that up. But it's a T40. And so I'm going to loosen this up. I'm not going to, how do I say this? I'm going to loosen it up just enough that it's snug, that with a mallet, I can slightly tap it over. So I'm not going to loosen up so much that it's free floating, because I don't want to lose the height adjustment and everything else, because I don't want to get into all that. I just want to loosen up just enough that with my mallet, I can tap that dude over and get it to where I like it, and then snug it up. So anyway, T40 is what I'm going to use for that. Probably be a couple iterations. Well, so General Motors has done away with, I've not had a General Motors car in a while, but I used to work in body engineering and it's not important. Anyway, this striker only has adjustment up and down. It has no in and out really. So there's grease pencil marks right there. You can see kind of where it was marked at the factory. And what I did is I ended up, after I found out that it wouldn't adjust in and out, I did start to study this striker and where it was contacting, and I did find that it was a little low. And it was hitting this guide right here, so I ended up raising it up a little bit so it wouldn't drag on that. It did help. It's not perfect. Like if you limp wrist it, the door won't shut. So you gotta, that's not obscene. So it's acceptable. But yeah, there's no adjusting out of it really, other than to make sure that striker and that lines up as good as it can. So. Anyway, something to be aware of. I meant to mention earlier, use a grease pen on that, a grease pencil, something that'll wipe back off. You can see right there how much I've moved it up from where the top of it was at. Good luck.